Let's go! What if I told you one of my favorite analytics, which is ESPN QBR, had Patrick Mahomes and Marcus Mariota with the same exact grade? You guys have eyes. If you haven't watched both play, uh, well, watch his film study and you tell me if you think him and number 8 for the other team had the same type of game. And to start off here, actually, with a sack, a rare one here for Patrick Mahomes. So Mahomes scramble essentially picks up a first down here. And then we get to this next play where it's just a coverage bust, and you have Xavier Worthy wide open down the right sideline, and Mahomes does a good job getting him the football right here. Okay, so can Xavier Worthy make something happen after the catch? The safety does a really good job breaking down here and making a good touchdown saving tackle. Now we get to the first Patrick Mahomes INT. You know, mechanics wise, Mahomes, it's really hard to break down because he is so talented and transcendent that there are things that he gets away with as a thrower that other quarterbacks aren't able to, right? But you could see that this ball was kind of casually thrown up into the air. It's not high enough for Hollywood to even make a play on this. This is strapped down coverage from Lattimore, who's had some tough goes at it with the Commanders, and he's able to get it. But all INTs that Mahomes throw, you do have to wonder if the receiver actually ran the wrong route. But it looks like it was just a bad throw right there by Patrick. Now we get to here. This Chiefs offensive line, man, you can't say enough good things about them. You have Travis here blocking. This is just nasty work versus Johnny Newton looking like a not so great pick. And this is probably the cleanest pocket I have seen all season long. And Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice is right there to make the play. The Chiefs are the best third and medium offense in the NFL. And a big reason is because of Mahomes and because of guys like Juju Smith-Schuster, okay? Is this technically a push? Yes. They're never calling that, and they never will call that in the NFL. Boom. Okay, Juju is just so crafty as a veteran, he's able to pick up the first down. This is definitely one of the worst misconnects of the Kelce Mahomes era. You just rarely see this. This ball is thrown really hard, okay? You could just tell that this has a lot of steam on it, and it pops directly up into the air. That's why a lot of quarterbacks don't like throwing over the middle, and it's an interception for Bobby Wagner. Okay, so playing against Travis Kelce is so unfreaking believably difficult because here he is in a three-point stance, and he's actually running something pretty deep down the field. Okay, this is where it gets really, really, really spicy, is at the very beginning of the play, is that Kelce isn't just throwing himself into the route. He looks as if he is blocking at first to really sell this play action fake, and then he is then going down the field. Okay, you see how hard these backers bit on this play action fake? Crazy. So now Kelce has a running start behind him, and this is some variation of flood. There's a vertical being run. I know it's off the screen here, but Mahomes has all day to throw to give an older Travis Kelce out of a three-point stance and a delayed release to give him the time to get all the way here, and you get to there. Okay, more than likely it was a vertical, and Kelce just ran right behind it, and those types of routes normally open up a lot of space. What a freaking play design here. Zone read pull by Rashee Rice, and this is just nasty work by the Chiefs' offensive line. Yes, there is a lot of penetration because these defensive linemen are understanding that this is probably going to be a run. Well, that's what you want on a counter run, right? If you can get through the initial penetration, these pullers are going to have a field day. 77, clean block on the backer, good block by Kelce on the safety, and now we just need Rice to make the safety miss, and he's able to do just enough to score. This is one of the harder things you must be prepared for with Mahomes, is that when he sees man coverage, all right, he understands if he can just find one small little rush lane, he could take full advantage of it. Now, the funny thing about it is Frankie Louvu is in a QB spy role on this rush 3, drop 8, But just by Mahomes faking that, he has Luvu running into this space versus Pacheco, and now he's out of the fit. Okay? It's not so great QB spy work if that was indeed Luvu's role, and now Mahomes just runs through all that space. Look at that. One of the most difficult, if not the most difficult QB to sack in NFL history. So if you don't mind, please go hit that like, subscribe, all that good stuff on YouTube. We're also clipping this on TikTok and Instagram, so make sure you check it out. And this is my favorite formation in the NFL. Travis Kelce at fullback alongside Noah Gray. And this time they don't run my favorite play, which is a flood variation out of it. They're actually doing the opposite. They're running into this space right here. Okay, so they showed that it is a potential little zone run here to the right, but they're actually getting Noah Gray here on a one read concept to the left. And you'll see here that they actually have this sniffed out. They have Bobby Wagner, one of the slower veteran linebackers in the NFL, going up against Noah Gray. The problem is that Bobby Wagner has to wait for this run fake to end, and Noah Gray has a running start. All right, so that's the advantage here. You can see Bobby Wagner is right there, and if you're looking at it right here, even with this ball being slightly behind Gray, you would think Wagner would be able to bring him down here, but because Noah Gray has all that momentum and all this space to work with, what looked like a 3-yard gain turns into 10. And then we get to the biggest play of the freaking night. It is just surreal watching Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce work together. Okay, this isn't anything too crazy. This is truly a two-man route concept, and Juju is staying in to block. Okay, it's just two receivers. It's Hollywood and somebody else. Okay, so the first thing is Juju can release into space here if Mahomes wants to throw it. So you can see Mahomes is trying to find something deep on this two-man route concept. Then what happens is Travis Kelce, who initially stayed in to block, is now going out to the right side. That wasn't really built into the play, but there's always a possibility when these Chiefs stay in to pass protect, and there's just so much space for Kelce to run into for an absolutely positively massive gain of yards. I thought he was going to score, to be honest. Old Travis Kelce is scoring that. Wow. So let's get to the touchdown soon after this Travis Kelce breakdown. I am very shocked that Mahomes ended up not throwing this football to Hollywood Brown. I think he would tell you that this probably should have just been ripped. He's looking directly at Hollywood, and he decides to eat it and extend the play. Okay? So now he works back to the right side, and there's no receivers here running to the right. But Mahomes is a high wire act. He is Nick Walinda. He is Evil Knievel. All right? He's willing to put it all on the line here. And, well, he's trying to find somebody. And eventually it is indeed Kareem Hunt who scores. Okay, Wagner loses him in the mush. Touchdown. I thought Mahomes was a little conservative in this game. Normally he rips this to Kelce. Okay, just a little shocked he got off of that right here. So he decides to work back to the two slants here. He then steps up into this pocket. Two hands on the football. It looked like it was two hands on the football. And eventually he does flip it for an absolutely massive gain down the field. It was a good job by Juju Smith-Schuster, one of the higher football IQ receivers out there, finding an open space, and it's a first down. So Alabama scored a touchdown doing this very thing this past weekend. Put one of your better receivers, they did this with Jeremy Bernard, their quarterback also wears number 15, Ty Simpson, and just give your receiver a chance to have a running start into the flat. It is so hard to pick up RBs out of the backfield, even if it is a wide receiver. Look at how open this is right here to Rashee freaking Rice. He's never handing that football off to Rashee Rice. Okay? Easy, easy, easy stuff right there. And then we get to Monday Night Football. So it's Monday Night Football. We knew Travis Kelce was going to at least tie the Chiefs franchise record for touchdowns. It's amazing how these records always seem to fall on Monday Night Football. Ask Drew Brees about that. So Mahomes rolls out to the right side, and we'll pick it up from a different angle here. Actually, we'll go ahead and just show you this one. Boom. All hands catch. Look at that. Beautiful. So you get this angle right here. You, as the Washington Commanders, feel pretty good about it. Kelce does a good job selling that he might be going out. Instead, he cuts back to the inside, and Mahomes eventually does find him into this space. Really, really, really good stuff. Obviously, a really good throw by Patrick. Boom. Look at that. So, don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe. You can also leave a donation. Super thanks it. Good RPO read right here by Mahomes. Get the football into Worthy, into space, and all you need to do with Xavier Worthy is just make something happen with this speed, and he's able to do that freaking very thing. Good stuff to pick up a few extra yards here. Good piece of ball security at the end of this, and a good strong finish. So I want to have a conversation about the PFF, ESPN QBR world that we live in. It's always just the most important thing to watch the games. You just simply cannot just look at stats. You have to sit down and at least watch the YouTube highlight compilations, okay? But this is just such ridiculously good quarterback play. Should Mahomes actually just rip this to Travis on the pivot? Yes, but you can see here, I don't know if Mahomes honestly just saw this, which would be insane chemistry. I would like to think that this is indeed true. He doesn't actually throw this football to Trav because he sees that he's slipping and falling down. And one of the most dangerous things you can do as a tight end is drift backwards on these types of routes because it can get undercut. So you can see Mahomes eats it, and then he truly sees that Travis is dipping down. So he decides to extend this and then basically just eat this sack up 14 in this game. So I want to have a conversation, as you'll see Mahomes, with what looks to be a typical Mahomes scramble on 2nd and Overland Park here. But what this actually turns into is Mahomes flicking the wrist to Rashee Rice. But I want to have a convo about PFF, QBR, and all these advanced analytics. And the TLDR of it is you need to just watch the games. And if you don't have enough time to watch every snap of every game, at least watch highlight compilations where you can for sure see who the better quarterbacks actually are. And that also doesn't mean you should just throw out QBR or PFF, something that I do heavily rely on. But, it's always misleading because number 15 is the best quarterback in the NFL. And this is just ridiculous. This is downright stupendously ridiculous quarterback play. I want you to see how nonchalant and Luka flick of the wrist style this actually is. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this. Are you freaking kidding me? Just a soft little flick of the wrist to Noah Gray right into space. Now, it does help that the Chiefs receivers really understand timing and spacing. This also sucks for Noah Gray at the end because this is a textbook hip drop tackle. Ugh. I'm glad Gray was okay, or at least I think he was okay. But still, this dude is just so unfreaking believably good. And then we come back to that little route where you get Rashee Rice on a backer here. It's really, really, really good stuff. So you fake like you're that you're running there, and then you just juke back over the middle, and Mahomes eventually does get there. Okay, that is just ridiculous quarterback play to eventually get there to Rashee Rice. So comment below your thoughts on this film study, and we will talk to you soon. It is Power Hour NFL. Boom! And tonight, we're doing barbecue.